G'day mate, my name's Matthew Bruce, writer of For the Love of Celluloid blog, and today I'm going to look back at that Ozploitation turkey, Les Patterson Saves the World. After a series of largely positive reviews, I've decided to take a stab at reviewing a film that seems to invite criticism. Such a film is Les Patterson Saves the World from 1987. The only reason I wanted to see this film was its leading man. Barry Humphries, who is disputably an Australian national treasure, is nevertheless very much adored in England, particularly for his comedic TV alter ego, that Australian housewife cum superstar, Dame Edna Everage. Humphries is also known for his other onstage character, Sandy Stone, an elderly gentleman who waxes lyrical about an Australian of times gone by. However, his most outrageous character is Australian diplomat Les Patterson, the cultural attaché to the court of St James, whose ironical racism, sexism, and general foul-mouthed nature lead invariably to political outrage. He is a man, though, who, in the tradition of the Pink Panthers' Inspector Clouseau, seems to work his way out of situations and become the hero of the day, in spite of his gross ineptitude. After causing an international incident concerning an Arab ambassador at a UN conference, Patterson is posted to the Middle East in the hope of reconciliation. Little does he know he is being sent to be punished for his behaviour. However, in the midst of a military coup, Patterson escapes scot-free, though he soon after stumbles upon a scientist called Dr. Herpes. I know, cringeworthy, who confides to Patterson that he has been assigned by the KGB to develop a disease known as the HELP virus, even more cringeworthy, which is to be distributed to the toilet seats of the Pentagon and further afield to Western society. Chaos ensues, and, as the title suggests, our man Patterson must literally save the world. Perversely perhaps, I find the Les Patterson character quite entertaining, and I find myself laughing, largely out of embarrassment, at his dishevelled appearance and outrageous remarks. Humphries always maintained that he was not being unnecessarily smutty in his comedy, but instead depicting characters of the world as he really saw them. Many have argued that the Patterson character is closer to the personalities of real Australian politicians than people would believe. Like our protagonist, though, this film is haphazard and is barely held together by the throwaway and often unsurprisingly toilet humour. It is a film largely in bad taste, and one of the few highlights is the appearance of Humphries' more domesticated alter ego, the aforementioned Miss Everage, who does deliver some memorable one-liners. What sticks in my mind is the scene of a chaotic rotating restaurant spinning out of control at the end of the film, which is pure slapstick gold, and involves, among other things, a koala bear working a control panel. Madge, Edna's faithful sidekick, asks her, amid the chaos, if, given the evening's events, their meal will be on the house, to which Edna replies, "My meal is all over the house." Look out also for Pamela Stephenson and the late Joan Rivers, who, I imagine, were doing the film out of loyalty to Humphries, or money, rather than the script. George Miller's direction of the film is unspectacular, as is the cinematography by David Connell, and the editing is also confusing. Also, the music is forgettable, save for Tim Finn's very 80s theme song, You Saved the World. I'm sorry to say that Humphries' own undeniable talents are misrepresented in the film too. Les Patterson Saves the World is a film straight from the book of Ozploitation, a film movement prevalent in Australia in the 70s and 80s, which saw the release of controversial films which, with their blend of sex, horror, comedy and action, revelled in new post-censorship cinematic freedoms. Perhaps my viewing experience wasn't helped by the fact that I was watching what I think was a rather grainy VHS to DVD transfer of the film in 4:3 ratio instead of the cinematic 16:9. That is to say, I was watching it in a limiting square box format as opposed to original widescreen on this Prism Leisure DVD. There are no extras to speak of here, but I understand there is an Australian release of the film with some insight into the production. I digress. Never mind saving the world. After this, I think you would agree that Les Patterson needs saving from the movie, or indeed himself. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more from For the Love of Celluloid blog. Follow me on social media and at the links in the video description.